Welcome to my first ever video. Now, if you're watching this video, you're very lucky. This is my first ever video. And I know probably in 1 year I'm gonna be looking at this video, I'm like, damn, the quality probably wasn't the best, or I was nervous talking to the camera and all of that. But this now doesn't really matter. Now what matters is what's inside of this video, the content that's gonna be inside this video, the value. So in this video, I will be talking about market structure and trends and how important they are, what type of trends we have, breakout structure, change of character, trend reversals. I'm gonna be explaining everything. Now, it's really important that you lock in here because if you don't understand this, you probably wouldn't be able to trade my strategy, which is the 90% win rate no wick strategy. I'm gonna put the link here. Well, actually, no, I'm not gonna put the link because I want you to actually understand this video. I want you to watch it fully, even if you do know what an uptrend is, what a downtrend is, because the way ICT sees trends is something, the way you see trends is something, and the way I see trends is something. So I want you to learn it from me because I have a pretty simple strategy, I would say. It's very simple. It's a 90% win rate strategy, but if you don't understand trends, my whole strategy and entry model is useless. My no wick strategy is so simple, but without really understanding trends, it doesn't help. And yeah, I'm gonna be explaining to you how the charts, like I'm gonna be drawing first, explain everything, and then we can take live examples on the charts. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna give you the indicator I use here for the trends. But here's the thing. It's a free indicator, and it's by a guy, I don't even know him, I'm not sponsored by him. It's completely for free, you can put it on TradingView. And here's the thing though, indicators do help. They help you to identify the trend, but if you don't understand what the trend is, the whole indicator is useless. So if you don't know visually, yeah, I'm an uptrend or yeah, I'm in a downtrend, even if I give you 10 indicators, they're gonna be useless. So let's lock in, and I hope you learned something from this video. And yeah, let's get into it. So before we jump into the downtrend, this is an example of a downtrend. Before we start with it, you hear this often. Trend is your friend. Now, why is this quote very famous? Why does everyone say, yeah, trend is your friend, trend is your friend? Not because of it's a nice quote, because actually trend is really important. Even for people like, I don't know, ICT or SMC who trade against the trend sometimes, or wait for liquidity grabs and then trade against the trend and all of that bullshit. They still use the trend because they're trading against the trend, but they still need to know what the overall trend is. So that's why it's really important that you actually understand what a trend is. Now, how you read the trend can differ from person to person, and I'm gonna show you my way. So this is the general what is the term for it? The general terms are basics on how a trend works. Yeah, if you're sitting right now in your bed or laying down, scrolling, thinking, yeah, I'm gonna become a millionaire after watching this video, you might become a millionaire after watching this video if you actually lock in and sit down and understand. So go bring a pen, bring a paper, I don't know, take notes on your laptop, whatever you want, but please don't be laying in your bed and expecting to understand all of this, because this is gonna be a lot of information. So I'm not expecting you to understand it from the first time, and I'm not expecting you to understand it laying in your bed and trying to make millions tomorrow. It's a serious field. If you go to your work, do you just lay down and sit and try to do your work, or do you actually sit down and understand everything properly? Now you might be like, yeah, well, Omar, I see you taking trades while you're in your bed. Yeah, I do, because I put hours and days and nights into this, into learning this, before I was able to do what I do right now. So learn now, lock in, so you can have a future where you, sorry for that, so you can have a future where you can lay down and work in your bed. Okay? Now I've talked too much, so let's actually get into it. So this, damn. So this is the downtrend. A downtrend consists of highs, lows, and lower highs, lower lows. So, as you can see, we have a high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now, why is this called a lower high? Because it's so simple and self-explanatory, because this high is lower than this high. And why is this called a lower low? Because this low is lower than this low. Same here, lower high. Why? Because this high right here is lower than the high before it. And this is called the lower low because this low is lower than the low before it. That's it. That's how simple it is. Don't overcomplicate it. Now, you don't really need to understand why this is called this or that. You just need to know that in a downtrend, we have high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and just keeps going on. And I'm explaining to you how do we know that switch from a downtrend to an uptrend. Just hold on. Now, for the uptrend, it consists of it consists from higher lows and higher highs. Higher low, higher high. So, why is this called a higher low? Because this low is higher than the low before it. And why is this called a higher high? Because this high is higher than the high before it. Same here. This is called higher low because it's higher than the low before it. And this is called higher high because it's higher than the high before it. That's it. That's all you need to know. In an uptrend, we have a low, high, then higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And I'm going to show you, I'm not going to be like these YouTubers who just show you when they draw. I'm going to show you a real life example on the chart. Now, there's the third type of trend, which is horizontal, or some people call it consolidation. This one, it's not important. This one happens when we're basically neither in an uptrend nor in a downtrend. And this one is useless because we shouldn't be trading this trend. Regardless, I don't care what strategy. If you want to use my strategy, you're welcome. I don't trade this. And if you want to use another strategy, please don't trade consolidation. The volume is low. It's unpredictable. No one knows what's going to happen. It might hit your stop loss and then go hit your TP. It might, it's just annoying. It's basically chop. Why would you trade chop? Would you rather trade a trend that looks like this or a clean trend like this? So until now, we haven't spoke anything crazy, no rocket science. Let's just look at a quick example. This is how, on real charts, this is how a downtrend looks like. You see we have a high, we have a low, we have a lower high, we have a lower low. Let's see for an uptrend how it will look like. Yeah, this is a good example. You see, we have a low, we have a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, etc. Or here, for example, we have a low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and yeah, it just keeps going on. It's very simple, especially when you have an indicator like this. It makes it even easier. Now, this is called an external trend, by the way. Why is it called external? Because we're looking at it from the big picture. So you can be like, yeah, but what if inside the trend, can we have another trend? Yeah, of course we can. Like, let me show you an example. If you want to look at the smaller time frame or the smaller picture, let's say, and this is one of the downsides of the indicator because it doesn't show you the internal trend, it just shows you the external trend. This is also an uptrend. You see we have a low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Yeah, it's self-explanatory. It's pretty easy. I think you should have got it by now. If you haven't, don't worry. I'm gonna go over it. Like I'm gonna do what is it called? Recap at the end of the video. So hold on, hold your horses, cool your beans. But so far, I think it's very easy. Now, how do you know, okay, now we're switching from a downtrend to an uptrend or from an uptrend to a downtrend? Easy. It's called change of character. And I like to use something I call three-step verification. So to avoid being faked out. So let's see, how do you know that we switch, in this case, from a downtrend to an uptrend? You remember how we were talking about lower highs? like in this case here, when you see a candle closing in a downtrend now, when you see a candle closing above the most recent lower high, that's when we have switched from a downtrend to an uptrend, aka we call it change of character. Okay? So, as you can see, when a downtrend, candle came close above the most recent lower high. This right here is called what? It's called change of character. And here, this shows us that, okay, we switched the trend now from a downtrend to an uptrend. Now, there's one thing you might be like, oh shit, is it that simple? Yes and no. Does this tell us, okay, we have a higher chance now to continue the trend up? Yes. What's the percentage? I would say probably 60, 65%, 70% max. Like, I wouldn't be so sure that we switched the trend from a downtrend to an uptrend yet. Why? Because sometimes, we're retail traders. Big people know that, or like the whales, they know that we think like this. So they're not gonna give it to us that easy. People usually, when they see change of character, like, oh shit, yeah, we switched from a downtrend to an uptrend now. Now price is gonna push up, and that's when the market makers are gonna tell you, no, it's not that simple. Everyone's gonna be buying. That's when we're gonna sell on them. You see? Now this doesn't happen all the time. Actually, most of the time this wouldn't happen to you. You have a higher chance that now you're in an uptrend, but it does happen. Now, to avoid this, or not to avoid it, to reduce the chance of this happening to you, and this is called the fake out, by the way. So to avoid the chance of you getting faked out, I like to do the 3 steps verification. So you see how we had the change of character here? Okay, that's step number 1, change of character. Step number 2, in this case, I would want to see the trend respecting this low. So I don't want the candle to break or close below this low. I would like to see it closing above this low. So that would be the second step. And the third step would be breaking this high again. And that's when I would say, okay, now we're in an official uptrend. Because now, if you look at it, and if you have been paying attention to what I've been talking about for the last, I don't know how many minutes, you would see that now we have a clear uptrend. Because now we have a low, we have a high, we have a higher low, and we have a higher high. You see how now we have a clear uptrend? We went from a downtrend to a clear uptrend. And yeah, that's it. That's how simple it is. Now, this is an extra information. It's not important. But once we break this high, like when we confirm, okay, now we're confirming that confirming that we're in an uptrend. So basically, once we achieve the third step, this one is called BOS, breakout structure. Okay? Clear? I don't know if I need to repeat this. If you didn't understand it, please rewatch this part because it's very important. And without you understanding this, my whole strategy is going to waste. Like, you're not going to be able to achieve anything if you don't really understand market structure and trends. Now let's do another example for when we're in an uptrend moving to a downtrend. Same exact concept. We want the candle closing below what? You tell me now. Below a higher low. Lock in. If you got it right, congratulations. If you didn't, lock in, please. Now we need the candle to close below the higher low. That's the first step. Let me make it red so you know that we're switching from an uptrend to a downtrend. What is this called when we close now below the higher low? We close below the higher low. It's called change of character. Now, are we in a downtrend? Technically, yes. How sure are we? Not that sure. So what do we want? We want the couple of next candles to respect this high. And after that, close below the low. That's it. What is, wait, what is it? What is this called now? This is called the lower high, and this is called lower low. And this is just a normal low. Cool? Cool. And what is this part right here called? When we broke, like when we confirmed the third step, what is it called? It's called break of structure. You see, we were in a clear uptrend, we closed below the higher low, we had a change of character, now we know, okay, we most likely shifted the trend from an uptrend to a downtrend. Price retraced back there, okay, we respected the highs, cool, we broke the lows again, boom. Now we know we're in a clear downtrend because now we have a high, low, lower high, and lower low. Now let's see how this looks on the chart. Perfect. Let's start with this one. So we have a high, a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Cool? Cool. You can see it in front of you. This is not me writing, this is the indicator writing. Now, when we closed above this lower high, what happened? Oh, I can do it. That's okay. It's called change of character. See how we were in a clear downtrend? We closed above the most recent lower high. Now we switched the trend from a downtrend to an uptrend. All right? That's it. That's it. We just switched. We had a change of character and we switched the trend from a downtrend to an uptrend. Now, this is the reason why I like to do the 3 steps verification is, okay, we did get the second step here. We created the higher low, we respected the lows, but as you can see, we never closed above the previous high. We never got a candle close in here, for example. This is why I said we're not 100% sure that we're in an uptrend. And as you can see, because we didn't close above this high, we came here, which is equal highs, and then we realized, oh shit, this was a fake out. It wasn't a real change of character. So the trend was still downtrend. Now, this is gonna make it, oh, this is gonna be a perfect example. Here we had a low. Let me just delete this so I don't confuse you guys. Here we had a low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Now, here we closed below the most recent higher low. What is this called? You see how we closed below this? This is the higher low. We closed below it. What is this called? It's called change of character. Good job. Now, can we say, okay, we're officially in a downtrend? No. There is a chance that we're in a downtrend, but still not 100% official. We created the lower high after that. You see, we respected the highs. And then we broke the lows. Are we now in an official downtrend? You tell me, are we now in an official downtrend? Yes, we are. Because now we have a high, low, lower high, lower low. What are we predicting to happen after? We create a new lower high, and then we create a new lower low. You see how the trend just continued? And yeah, that's now when you're gonna see my strategy, you're gonna be shocked. You'll be like, "Yo, no way you took sells here." I'm like, "Yeah, I did. I entered sells here, stop loss above the lower high, and 1-to-1 TP." But anyway, that's not the topic of this video. That's it, pretty much. That's what trends is. That's what market structure is. That's how I know if I'm in an uptrend or if I'm in a downtrend. Pretty simple, pretty easy, straightforward, no bullshit. I forgot to give you the indicator. So this is the indicator. It's called break of structure / change of character by Nephew Sam. You can screenshot it, I don't know, just go add it to your trading view. Just don't depend on it too much, because if you end up depending on it too much, sometimes it does do mistakes, okay? It does do mistakes, but overall it does help. Like, for example, here. This is technically a lower high, but I never identified it. Or this one. You see, like, it doesn't look at the internal trend, just looks at the trend from the outside, and it's accurate when you look at it from the outside, but internally it's not that accurate. That's why you really need to understand what's going on. And yeah, I hope you got some value from this video. And I'm gonna be posting the next video, my strategy. Please go watch it if you would like to learn the 90% win rate no wick strategy that made me pretty much profitable, and it's pretty mechanical. That's the best part. It's just this trend that you need to understand. If you don't understand trends, you're not gonna be able to apply it there. So that's it pretty much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.